All right, brothers, sisters, listen up. This is really, really important. Public service announcement, creating some awareness on this topic that I'm about to talk about right now. But specifically, I hear this from women a lot, although men do it too. And this has to stop, okay? Only when we become aware and conscious of how energy mechanics works and we create new operating habits into our daily living do we shift our very own reality and therefore the entire reality of this matrix we call life. Listen, words, the words that you speak have power. They reinforce realities, okay? Vibration, frequency. It is what this construct is all built on, okay? This is part of the mechanics of how it works. Now, when you become self-aware, you practice self-awareness, you start to become a witness, an observer, which is really what's animating this avatar, this body we call whatever character you are. For me, Silvie, we start to listen to the programming, to the words that are coming out of our mouth, the way we talk about ourselves in front of people or to even ourselves in our own mind, right? In silence. But most of all, what I'm saying is when you're speaking out, when you're creating sound, and when you're doing it in front of children that are listening, how you express yourself about yourself in a bad way. This is what I want to talk to you about. A lot of women do this. Guys do it too. But women do it even more so, where they put themselves down. They make a joke out of themselves. They'll say something bad about themselves, something like that doesn't sound right, that's something negative, let's just say. And not only that, but also when someone gives you a compliment right away, sometimes you just say, instead of saying just thank you and end it at that, you have to say, compensate it with something negative about yourself. Yeah, but this could be better. Or when you're gonna show someone something you did, like there's an excuse of like how it could have been better, or that this, you didn't end up doing this or that, and that's why it's not as great as it could be. Stop it. Enough of that. Enough of that. We are reinforcing realities constantly. I mean, the moment you become aware of that and you see the power that you have, and not only that, but you're role modeling this type of behavior and habit in front of children who are going to emulate, mirror you, which is like another level of awareness of how you can impact the next generation and the next generation and your reincarnations. Therefore, it's a game changer. So we've got to become more conscious and aware about the things we speak, how we express ourselves about ourselves and about the world, and especially about ourselves. Again, because we continue to reinforce that reality. If there's something you don't like about yourself, don't speak it into reality and reinforce it. Change it. Don't say it. Just don't say it. Just change it. All of this is an avatar. It's a character, a script that you're playing. You can change it at any time. You don't have to give excuses about why you did the things you did and how you did them, about what happened in the way you look or the way that nothing, okay? Because it doesn't matter, because you're giving power to things that are not that important. What's most important is that you are sovereign and that you know that you are a soul and a consciousness animating this character, this human experience, and that you know that what you choose to focus on, what you give your attention to, what you speak into reality reinforces and continues to create that reality. So before I speak and say anything, I actually draft it in my mind. even as I'm speaking to you, I've developed a habit to detach myself from my whole avatar and just either tune in straight from source, from consciousness, or if I'm sort of in the present moment with my son, I make sure that I pick the best of the best phrases, or put the most beautiful phrases together to express myself in front of him. How I talk about myself, how I show him that how much I love myself, how much I admire my own self as well as himself. But I need to show him, or I have to be that way shower of how we speak about ourselves, how we see the world and the best of. Yes, there are things that we all have weaknesses and strengths, but we focus on strengthening those weaknesses, embracing and loving and admiring those strengths, okay? Because we know that what we focus on, what we put our attention in, which is the main reason why we meditate, so we learn to focus our attention and get out of our mind, obviously, is that we focus on the realities that we want to continue to reinforce. That's the most important thing. Become aware. Become that witness. Become that observer. A lot of times we put ourselves down because it's a defense mechanism. Why do we need to excuse ourselves about being who we are? No. No. Nobody cares, honestly. Like, you give your own worth, and you validate yourself, and that should be enough. Whatever everybody else thinks, it's based on their own interpretation of reality, based on their own experiences, accumulation of their programming, which could be completely bizarro, by the way, and outdated, or other experiences from other lives, which is just literally 70% interpretation, not even the full picture. On top of that, people don't ever fully remember the exact experience. So out of that 70% interpretation, who knows what percentage is interpretation of an interpretation? Then on top of that, you throw in irrational, outdated programming that came from your parents and your grandparents and society and the media, which is completely distorted. So is your view of reality accurate? Is your interpretation or view of your even own self accurate? You gotta question it. You gotta question everything. Question even what I'm saying. It's a habit of, because you have the truth for yourself, your own truth. You have to come up, tune into spirit, and Google yourself for the answers. You're going to get the best information when you go to source, not when you go to here. Because here is just data that's accumulated from God knows where, whom, what level of consciousness, boom. No, you got to go in deep. That is the practice. That is the daily practice to detach yourself. It's like all about integration, unification, which is the road that I'm on. But there's a certain level of where you also need to,